Welcome to Manifest Beyond Limits, the podcast that helps you break free from fear and self-doubt so you can create a life filled with abundance, joy, and fulfillment. I'm your host, DaNajah, manifestation coach, speaker, and believer in limitless possibility. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset shifts, energetic principles, and manifestation tools that help you step into your power and design a reality that truly lights you up. Because here, we believe there are no limits, and anything is possible. You ready? Let's manifest beyond limits. Welcome back to the Manifest Beyond Limits podcast. So today's episode is being released on Groundhog Day, and I wanted to talk about the connection and symbolism between this day and manifestation. So Groundhog Day is really all about one question. Is winter coming to an end? And is spring on the way? And this question mirrors what so many people are feeling right now in their own lives in relation to their manifestations. So manifestation requires a lot of trust. And throughout the process, you can find yourself having thoughts like, nothing's changing. Nothing's moving yet. Is this even working? And I want to talk about that today because being in quote unquote winter does not mean that your manifestation isn't working. So when I was looking up different quotes on Groundhog Day, one in particular kept coming up. So there's an old proverb that says, no matter how long the winter, spring is sure to follow. And this applies just as much to your reality as it does to nature. So when it comes to Groundhog Day and even winter, no one is forcing change. So you may have a desire for winter to be over, but at the end of the day, you recognize that the exact timing is out of your control. So even during winter, we can have an ideal timeline based on history of when spring is going to come, but no one starts panicking because spring hasn't shown up yet and it's still February. But when it comes to our manifestations, we forget that the same principle applies. So we want to see the visible progress, proof, and movement. But manifestations don't work that way. And just because something looks still doesn't mean nothing is happening. So here's something that is important to remember both spiritually and scientifically. Nothing in life is ever fully still. So even in the wintertime, the earth is still moving. And even with trees, roots continue to grow and strengthen underground. And nature uses the wintertime to rest and to get ready. And then from a scientific perspective, everything is always in motion. Atoms are moving and change is constantly happening, even when it's invisible. So manifestation doesn't begin with external change. It begins with internal change. So before something changes around you, it has to change within you. And a lot of time that process often feels like slowing down, letting go of control, feeling certainty within uncertainty, trusting the in-between, and having faith in the messy middle. And a lot of times people mistake moments of quiet for failure because as humans, we're impatient. And so when things are quiet, we start to panic. We assume that our manifestations didn't work, that we should be doing more, that we need to try something different, that we need to force the outcome. But quiet does not mean failure. So this is where surrender comes in, which is something that I'm still practicing myself. And surrender doesn't mean that you're giving up or that you no longer care about receiving your manifestation. It means releasing control over the when and the how. So your only job in winter is to trust that spring is coming, to stay grounded, to stay rooted, and to focus on what's happening internally. So if you're in a season that feels slow, if things haven't bloomed yet, if you're still waiting for the visible proof, being in winter doesn't mean that your manifestation isn't working. It means that something is happening beneath the surface, even if you can't see it yet. And no matter how long the winter, spring is sure to follow. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Manifest Beyond Limits. I hope you're leaving feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to take aligned action toward your next level. If this episode spoke to your heart, it would mean the world if you shared it with someone who needs to hear it, or left a quick review to help more beautiful souls find this space. And if you'd like to stay connected, you can find me on Instagram at Manifest Beyond Limits or visit manifestbeyondlimits.com to dive deeper into my world. And remember, you are powerful, you are supported, and there are no limits to what you can create. With that being said, go out there and manifest a life that's truly beyond limits.